My old father spent for decades on the railroad. Same job I'd end up doing, 40 years of AM wake-ups and getting home after dark, 40 years of missing Christmas mornings and wearing his knees down to nothing. He was dead at 61. Bank account had $800 in it. That's it, $800. Mom had to pack up and move in with my sister because there wasn't anything else. No nest egg, no stock portfolio, nothing. The man worked until his body gave out and all he left behind was a bill from the funeral home. I was 23, staring at a hole in the ground. That's when something clicked. This wasn't going to be my story. My wife wasn't going to end up scrambling. My kids weren't going to stand at my grave wondering why I didn't plan better. I didn't have a roadmap, but I knew I'd figure something out. 43 years on that same railroad. Same routes my father ran. Same company. Same middle-class paycheck. My best year? $58,000. When I hung up my boots, I had north of $1 million put away. Not from a lottery ticket, not from some inheritance, not from some uncle I never met. I learned something nobody bothered teaching me. Not in any classroom, not around the dinner table, not from the guys in the break room. I had to piece it together myself, making every mistake you can imagine along the way. But once the pieces fell into place, mathematics took over. You're not struggling because your salary is too small. You're struggling because nobody showed you how to handle money once you've earned it. So let me show you, whether you asked for this or not. Here's what I learned. Here's exactly where I'd begin if I was starting from scratch tomorrow. Face reality about where your money actually goes. Not where you assume it goes, where it really goes. Most folks have zero clue. Money comes in Friday, money's gone by Tuesday, and they couldn't tell you what happened to it if you paid them. When I was 25, I started logging every transaction, every single one. Morning coffee, cigarettes, beers after shift. 3 months of this made me nauseous. I was hemorrhaging cash on things I couldn't even recall purchasing. Things that gave me nothing. Things that evaporated the moment I handed over the money. That's your problem too. I'd bet on it. You're not in the red because your employer's cheap. You're in the red because you've got 100 tiny holes in your pockets, draining everything before it has a chance to work for you. Streaming services you forgot you signed up for, groceries that rot in the back of the fridge, $12 cocktails. Shirts you wore once and shoved in the closet, death by 1,000 small purchases. Track everything for 3 months, actually write it down, actually look at the numbers. That's where you start. Pay yourself before anyone else gets a dime. This is what separates people who accumulate wealth from people who don't. Most people handle money in this order: landlord, car note, utilities, groceries, weekend plans. Then they check the account at month's end, hoping there's something to save. There never is. There's always another expense, always another reason to spend. So they save nothing, year after year, and wind up exactly where my father did. I reversed the order. First thing I did every payday was grab 15% and lock it away somewhere I couldn't touch it. Before rent, before food, before everything. That 15% wasn't a suggestion. It wasn't flexible. It was the first bill that got paid, every single time without exception. I paid myself first, then I figured out how to survive on what remained. Some months got tight. Some months I ate a lot of rice and beans. But that money kept stacking up month after month, year after year, and it was mine. Nobody could touch it. Learn compound interest until it rewires how you think about time. This is what actually built my wealth. Not grinding, not overtime. Grinding gets you a paycheck. Compound interest makes you rich. Plain English version. You invest money and let it sit. It earns returns. Those returns get added to your principal. Next year you earn returns on the larger amount that gets added. Then you earn returns on an even larger amount. It feeds on itself, snowball rolling downhill. Real numbers, because that's how my brain works. Invest $200 monthly starting at 25, average 8% returns. At 65, you'll have roughly $620,000, but your actual contributions over 40 years. Only $96,000. The other $524,000 came from compound interest. Your money made more money than you ever put in. That's not wizardry. That's arithmetic. And the arithmetic works for anyone with enough patience. But here's what everyone misses. Time is the secret ingredient. Start at 35 instead of 25. You end up with about $250,000 instead of $620,000. Same monthly investment, same returns. But you lost a decade of compounding and it cost you nearly $400,000. Each year you delay is years of growth you can never recover. You can't make up for lost time by investing more later. The math doesn't bend that way. Invest in boring things and don't touch them. I didn't try picking hot stocks. I didn't try timing crashes and rallies. I didn't watch financial TV looking for this week's winner. I bought index funds tracking the entire market. I bought pieces of rock-solid companies that existed for half a century and would probably exist for another half century. Then I did the hardest part of investing. Nothing. Over decades, I lived through 7 recessions, 2 market crashes, more doom and gloom headlines than I can count. Every time people lost their minds, sold everything at the bottom, swore the market was finished forever. Every time the market recovered and climbed higher than before. The people who panicked lost everything. The people who sat still got wealthy. I sat still. I kept buying. I didn't check my account daily. I didn't react to news cycles. I just kept feeding money into investments and trusted that over long stretches, markets rise. They always have. They probably always will. Avoid debt like it's toxic. Waste, because it is. Debt is compound interest running in reverse. When you swipe a credit card at 18% interest, you're paying the bank to borrow money you don't have. That 18% compounds. It multiplies. It gets heavier every month you carry a balance. Every dollar you pay in interest is a dollar that could have been growing in your investment account. Instead, you're enriching the bank. I bought my house in 1968. $19,000. That was serious money back then. I took a 15-year mortgage, not 30. We lived lean, no vacations, no new furniture, no extras for 15 years. We attacked that house payment as fast as possible. Then for the next 45 years I had no mortgage, no rent, no monthly check to a bank. That money flowed straight into investments. Understand what 45 years of zero housing payment does for your net worth. It changes everything. Stop trying to look wealthy. Start trying to be wealthy. These are completely different things. Looking wealthy means big house, nice car, designer clothes, latest phone. Being wealthy means having money that multiplies while you sleep. Money that supports you when you can't work anymore. Money your family won't have to stress about. When you're gone, I drove a '78 Chevy pickup until 1992, 14 years. It ran. It got me to work. I didn't care what anyone thought. While other guys at the yard bought new trucks every 3 years, I funneled that money into investments. Their trucks are in scrapyards now. My money's still compounding. Every time you buy something to impress people, you're trading your future for their opinion. Their opinion has 0 value. Your future has infinite value. There was a janitor in Vermont named Ronald Reed. Pumped gas and mopped floors his entire life. Never made much. When he died in 2014, they discovered he had $8 million. $8 million. He wore the same threadbare coat for 2 decades, drove a beat-up Toyota. Nobody suspected he was wealthy. He didn't need them to know. He just quietly built wealth while everyone around him financed cars they couldn't afford. He donated $6 million to his local library and hospital. That's what real wealth looks like. It doesn't look like anything. Automate everything so you can't sabotage yourself. Willpower is unreliable. Some weeks you're disciplined. Some weeks you want to blow money you shouldn't blow. If you have to consciously choose to save with every paycheck, eventually you'll choose wrong. So I eliminated the choice. Money came out automatically before I saw it. By the time funds hit my checking account, future me had already been paid. I couldn't spend it because it wasn't there. Set up automatic transfers. Have your 15% pulled the day you get paid and routed straight to investments. Don't give yourself the opportunity to rationalize spending. Don't give yourself access. Pay yourself first automatically and learn to live on what's left. This one change will do more for your wealth than anything else I can tell you. Increase your savings rate every time your income rises. This is where most people fail. They get a raise and immediately inflate their lifestyle to match. Bigger apartment, better car, more restaurant meals, nicer wardrobe. They end up just as broke, just with pricier stuff. I did the opposite. Every raise I got, at least half went straight to savings. $100 monthly raise. 52 savings, 52 spend. My lifestyle improved gradually. My savings improved rapidly. By my final years working, I was saving over 30% of my income, and I still lived comfortably. I had everything I needed. I just didn't have everything I wanted. There's a difference. Wanting is bottomless. You'll always want more. Needing has a ceiling. Figure out what you actually need and stop chasing everything you want. Accept that this takes decades. There's no shortcut. Nobody wants to hear this. Everyone wants instant wealth. Everyone wants the hack, the loophole, the secret that makes them rich by next year. There is no hack. There's only time and discipline. Building wealth my way takes 30 years minimum. Probably 40. You invest month after month, year after year, and you wait. You wait while other people buy things and show off and live large. You wait while it feels like nothing's happening. Then one day you check your account and there's more money than you ever earned in your entire life. And you realize patience paid dividends nothing else could match. Remember why you're doing this. Not to have a big number in an account. Not to feel superior. Not to prove anything. I did this so my wife would never worry. So my children would have opportunities I didn't. So when I got old and couldn't work, I wouldn't be a burden. So I could give to my church and community and help people who needed help. Money is a tool, that's all. It's a tool that gives you options. When you have money, you can choose to retire. You can choose to help family. You can choose to support causes you believe in. You can choose to walk away from work you hate when you don't have money. You don't have options. You take whatever work exists. You depend on others. You worry constantly. I've watched people live that way and die that way. I swore I'd never be one of them. I'm 90 years old. I started saving in 1961 with about $40 a month. I didn't see meaningful results for 15 years. It felt pointless sometimes, like I was sacrificing for nothing, but I kept going. Now I have more money than I could spend in 3 lifetimes, and I'm giving it away to people and causes I care about. That didn't happen because I was brilliant. It happened because I was patient. It happened because I stood at my father's grave at 23 and made a promise, and I kept that promise for 67 years. If I were starting over today with nothing, here's exactly what I'd do. I'd get a job immediately. Any job. Stop waiting for perfect. I'd track every penny for 90 days to find exactly where the leaks are. I'd set up automatic transfers to save at least 15% before I see it. I'd open a Roth IRA or contribute to a 401k. If my employer offers one, I'd invest in low-cost index funds and not touch them for 30 years. I'd stay completely out of debt. I'd stop caring what my car or clothes or phone say about me. I'd increase my savings every time my income rises, and I'd accept that this takes decades, which is fine because decades pass anyway. You're going to be 50 or 60 or 70 eventually, whether you like it or not. The only question is whether you arrive there with money or without it. The choice you make today, this month, this year determines which one it'll be. The money is already there in your account. It's leaking out to places that don't matter, to things you won't remember, to people who don't care about your future. Redirect it. Put it somewhere it can grow. Put it somewhere future you can find it when you need it. My father worked 40 years and died with nothing. I worked 43 years and have more than I need. Same job, same railroad, same paycheck range. The only difference was what we did with the money after we earned it. That's the only difference that matters. You can do this. It's not complicated. It's just hard. But hard isn't impossible. Hard just means you keep going when you don't feel like it. Hard just means you say no when everyone else says yes. Hard just means you trust a process that takes longer than you want. I trusted it. I'm sitting here telling you it works. The math doesn't lie. The math has never lied. Start now. Start today. Start with whatever you have, even if it's $40 a month like I did. Just start and don't stop.